Steve Jobs read the same book every year, and it was not about technology. It was not about business, nor marketing. It was a spiritual book. It was called Autobiography of a Yogi, written in 1946 by the Indian master Paramahansa Yogananda, a book that spoke about meditation, consciousness, energy, inner research, and yet, Steve Jobs considered it one of the most important texts of his life. But why? In the 1970s, before founding Apple, Jobs went through an existential crisis. Technology was not enough for him. He wanted to understand something deeper, how to live, how to think, how to see the world. So he traveled to India. He slept in temples. He studied Zen Buddhism. He experimented with meditation and spiritual practices. And it was during this period that he discovered Yogananda's book, a text built around a radical idea: external reality is the reflection of one's inner state. According to Yogananda, the human mind is constantly distracted. Noise, desires, fear, ego, and to see clearly, one must learn to observe one's own consciousness. This idea struck Jobs deeply because it would influence everything he built afterward. Apple's minimalism, the simplicity of its products, the obsession with what is essential. Jobs used to say, focusing is about saying no, and this vision is very close to Zen, eliminating the unnecessary, to make space for what truly matters. But there is an even more incredible detail. When Steve Jobs died in 2011, the guests at his funeral received a small box. Inside, there was that very book, Autobiography of a Yogi, as a final message. Almost as if to say, this book helped me understand something fundamental about life. And perhaps that is exactly why it continues to be read even today. Because it is not only about spirituality, it is about attention, awareness, presence, and the idea that true change does not begin outside of us, but within. Because some people change the world only after changing the way they see themselves. And perhaps the most powerful concept in the book is this: the environment is stronger than willpower. Yogananda argued that the human mind is constantly shaped by what surrounds it. People, habits, thoughts repeated every single day, and that is why he insisted so much on awareness. Because according to him, most people live in an almost automatic state, constantly reacting to life without truly observing it. Another central idea of the book was, happiness is not born from possessing more, but from the ability to control one's own mind. Yogananda wrote, success is the ability to maintain happiness, not money, not power, not fame, but inner peace. And perhaps the quote that affected Steve Jobs the most was this: learn to be calmly active and actively calm. It's the idea that one can create, build, innovate without losing oneself in the chaos of the world. And it is incredible to think that many of the ideas behind Apple, minimalism, simplicity, focus, were also born from this. From a spiritual book written almost 80 years ago. Because some works do not simply teach you to think better. They teach you to see life differently.